Today on 700 Club Nigeria, we have a guest to tell us more about an interesting topic, plus a series on how to value your gift, as 700 Club Nigeria starts now. Welcome. It's another amazing episode of the 700 Club program, and we're so glad you joined us. Our guest today is not a stranger to us. He was here a few weeks ago to talk to us about the compatibility between modern medicine and faith. He's a medical doctor and a consultant. Dr. Folorunsho, welcome to 700 Club Nigeria.
Thank you.
So glad to have you join us.
It's my pleasure to be here too.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking health.
Oh.
First, there is a myth in our climes that says snoring is an evidence of good living. How true is this? Is snoring an evidence of good living?
Thank you. It's not. A medical palace is an abnormality.
Okay.
It's one of disorders of. It's one of sleep disorders, and we see it as something that must be tackled. Yes. People don't know. They think snoring, like you rightly said, that is evidence that somebody is sleeping well or is good at. But to us, it's a pathology that must be dealt with.
Okay.
And when you ever been with somebody that has this problem, you discover that even the partner suffers from that, because it's difficult to catch sleep if you meet somebody that has a very terrible that snores heavily.
So it's a pathological problem?
Yes.
Okay, so what are the causes? What are the key causes of snoring?
Generally, we have an individual that they snore, but it doesn't affect their system. We call them habitual snorers. Okay. And what the meaning of this snoring is good for us to understand that is a form of obstruction. Anytime there's obstruction along our airway, the sleeps now, the breathing, and when the individual is sleeping, it comes with labored breathing and noise. So now, we now look at it from the nose down to the larynx. You want to look at where there are obstructions. It could be in the nose. It could be due to allergy, due to cold, deflated septum, and then behind the nose, it could be some, obstruction, either tumor, growth, whatever in the back of the nose. We call it nasopharynx. Then down to the throat, it could be tonsils. Some people, they have enlarged tonsils, and this is common among children. And we also have some adults that, even though we expect tonsils to have gone down above 10 years. But in some individuals, possibly due to allergy or other causes, it becomes enlarged. And once the individual has this, they are prone to that snoring. Okay. And also if there's blockage towards the larynx, it can cause that. So now, and what we do is to do the procedure we call DISE, drug-induced endoscopy. When we do that, we'll be able to see
what exactly is
causing that. Yes.
Okay. So what are the complications of snoring?
If you snore, you don't get enough oxygen when that individual is sleeping. And when that individual is sleeping and doesn't get enough oxygen, it will affect the heart to beat so fast. And if you remember, the definition of hypertension is peripheral resistance times multiplied by cardiac output.
Sorry, come again with that, sir.
Definition of hypertension is cardiac output. Okay. That is how much of blood being given out, pumped out from the heart. Okay. Multiplied by peripheral resistance. Okay. Now, and if an individual
has... What is peripheral resistance?
So it has to do with the blood vessels, how thick it is. Okay. There's a level, the blood vessels become so thick that the blood passes through with so much stress, and there's no free flow. Okay. So we call that one peripheral resistance. Now, when you look at what happens, if there's not enough oxygen, the heart tends to beat fast, because the heart wants to maximize the little oxygen it's getting to circulate through the body. So that fast pumping, over time, the heart tends to become muscular, thicker than normal. And that now leads to what we call, some of them develop what we call secondary hypertension. We have two types of hypertension. We have essential, otherwise called primary hypertension, and then secondary hypertension. Primary hypertension, at times the cause is unknown. It could be familiar, maybe run in the family. But for secondary hypertension, the cause is known. And one of the major cause of this is what we call obstructive sleep apnea resulting from snoring. So it can cause hypertension. It can cause, from hypertension, it can lead to hypertensive heart disease. And it can also, it's a sequelae. That means if you don't prevent it, one leads to another. So from hypertension, some can develop stroke.
Wow.
And from stroke, it can lead to death.
So this needs to be addressed.
Yeah,
so
we have even situation, but there are some theories that it can also cause diabetes. And then glaucoma. It can affect any organ in the system, because anytime there's reduction in oxygen circulation in the system, it can affect any
the
organ.
whole body.
Yes.
So how can it be treated? Some say they cannot treat snoring, but I believe it can be treated.
Yes.
Or am I wrong?
And it could be treated. Okay. And that is why I remember before now, for you to do sleep study, you have to go to either a place at Ikoyi then, in Ikoyi, or
in Lagos.
In Lagos. Or
okay.
People go to UK or go to Dubai, until when this desire, came upon me when I went for one of the program in New Zealand, and I had the training. I came back. We started doing that in Abuja here about 7-8 years ago, whereby you come. There's a place we call a sleep study lab. You come and there's a gadget we call a polysomnography machine.
Okay.
You attach it on the body, and when that individual attached that, over the night, because it has a memory card, it's a system, it's attached to the head, to the chest, it has a ECG component, it has several components attached everywhere, such that when that fellow is sleeping, the system, the memory card is able to measure all the recordings from that individual. By the time we finish, you'll be able to diagnose that fellow, because we made the diagnosis. And to diagnose that fellow, is either there's no obstructive sleep apnea resulting from snoring, or there's mild obstructive sleep apnea, there's moderate, or if it's severe. And they also have another complaint we call it central central sleep apnea.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So that will help us to make the diagnosis. Also follow with what I mentioned earlier, drug-induced endoscopy, whereby we also know where the obstruction is taking place. So when we discover that, then treatment is very easy.
Okay.
Now it could be medical or surgical. The medical aspect, which is we call conservative, there's a device we call CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure. Individual with that problem, when they want to sleep at night, they wear it. So when they wear it, the blockage, is able to, that's why we call it positive pressure. It's able to open up the airway. Okay. When they use it, we have to tell it can be the one with face mask, whereby it covers both the nose and the mouth. And we have the one that just covers the nose. That one, any of them, once individual using it, the fellow will not snore and will get enough oxygen. They wake up, they are refreshed, because some of the problem with snoring is that the fellow wakes up in the morning, at times you notice that you are tired, you feel as if you don't have refreshing sleep, you feel at times you go back and sleep, or you wake up with the mouth or the throat dried, headache. During daytime you struggle not to sleep, you are driving, the fellow is sleeping on steering, it leads to an accident and death.
There's a lot to say about this. I see you're very knowledgeable in just because we don't have so much time left.
Okay.
Are there home remedies we can do with this? And then for people who have spouses or children who snore, how can they handle this?
Thank you. Yes, we have home remedy, because one, you have to identify the problem, which I mentioned. Some individuals, they have allergy.
Okay.
And you have to identify what are the things you react to. And we advise some to do allergy tests, whereby you're able to identify that. If you discover that in your house, you have a lot of molds, you have things, that source of allergy to that fellow. Once you take care of that, because preventive is key to the treatment of allergy. The nose opens, the fellow breathing, you discover that just that simple precaution.
Pinpointing the thing causing the allergic reaction.
Yes. Pinpoint that, you take care of that, the fellow's nose opens up, you discover that fellow doesn't snore. It's like magic, okay? And then some of them that they have a problem with sinusitis and all of that, you might give them some drugs. Some believe in the supplement, but we use orthodox medicine. We give some of these drugs, it opens up. It's not in all cases that we do surgery, but counseling too could help. The way you sleep, some will advise them sleep, we have behavioral changes, sleep on the side,
to help with
to
your
help. We
breathing.
even have some special pillow that people can use to help them not to snore, okay? And then we also have some behavioral changes like alcohol can make some to snore.
So don't drink.
Don't drink. Because, yes. So we have this.
Okay, I think we're out of time. I wanted to say, how do those who have spouses who snore, what should they do? Should they block their ears, or should they?
So what they can do is to help the partner, because the partner who is snoring will not know. Most time they don't know.
Okay.
And the major aspect that the fellow should watch out for is when you have a partner who is snoring and from time to time the breathing is becoming complicated. That fellow, what you can do for this fellow is to take him to a center where I can do sleep study. From there you take it up. And talking, complaining cannot solve the problem. Because when you solve the problem of that fellow, especially if you are couples, then you two enjoy the peace.
You've solved your own problem also.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Folorunsho. It's been my pleasure. We've learned so much.
It's my pleasure too.
And we will bring you again and again.
No problem.
Because you have so much to share.
I'll always come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't go away. 700 Club will be right back.
Lorenzo, I'm gonna go back to California in 18 days. I want to take my money with me.
Whether it's movies, music,
you come to me with sword and spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts.
cartoons,
Your God is weak!
documentaries, or lifestyle, there's always something for everyone. It's time to switch to an all-in-one family entertainment channel. It's time to be on fire.
That was some detailed explanation on the issue of snoring.
A lot. I learned so much.
He's so experienced.
Yes, and he talked he talked extensively. We just look at it like it's not a big deal, it's just snoring. But you can see that you need to get it checked, especially when it's becoming really, really bad.
Yes.
I know most times we just laugh it off and laugh about it, but there's help for it.
He said that when it starts to get to the point where the person snores and continues to snore and stops breathing, that those are indications.
There's some snoring that if you sleep in the same room with the person, you cannot sleep.
It's like a musical arrangement.
So it can be treated, and so that's good to know.
Oh, thank God. If you've just joined us, this is 700 Club Nigeria. Earlier, we were talking about the power of healing. But guess what? You haven't missed out, because in our next story, a woman tells us about how her son got supernaturally healed through prayers. Take a look.
I hugged him, I kissed him, and I said, Hayden, I love you. And they wheeled him away. Whew. I was scared. Honestly, I was scared because that's my baby.
It had been less than 24 hours since Nadine Smith brought her 18-year-old son Hayden to the ER with a headache, fatigue, and a 104-degree temperature. After testing negative for COVID, he was sent home. By the next morning, he had diarrhea and was vomiting. Panicked, Nadine rushed him to Houston Methodist Hospital, where he was taken immediately to the ICU. Overseeing his case was pulmonary specialist Dr. Mir Alakan.
Our initial suspicion was that there was some type of sepsis or septic shock taking place. He had evidence of pneumonia involving an infection in his lungs. He had signs of liver dysfunction as well as kidney dysfunction that were causing problems, and also his blood pressure was very severely low, so we were concerned about his heart function as well.
As hospital staff ran tests to pinpoint a diagnosis, Nadine went home where she waited and prayed.
I said, God, I trust you. Hayden doesn't belong to me, he belongs to you. I believe that Hayden has a destiny and you've brought him for a purpose and it's not fulfilled as yet. But if you choose to take Hayden, you're still God and I still trust you.
Moments later, a nurse called. It wasn't sepsis or COVID, which Hayden had recovered from a few weeks earlier. In fact, Doctors weren't sure what was attacking his body. Hayden's father, Kes, tried to remain hopeful as he spoke with his son on the phone.
They're going to figure out what has happened to you. So just hang in there, just be strong, and hopefully you'll be home in a couple of days. The nurse took the phone from him and was speaking to me, and she said that, Dad, your son is really ill. He does not look good. I was devastated on the inside.
Later that night, they learned just how critical their son was. Hayden's liver, kidneys, lungs, and heart were failing, and the young man had to be put into a medically induced coma and placed on a ventilator.
In someone like Hayden's case, with 4 organ systems deteriorating, the risk of mortality from something like that is in excess of 60%. And sometimes with some of his numbers, you could believe in excess of 80% mortality.
This was not something that I was expecting. I just lost it. As a father, I just started bawling. I just started crying.
Still, Nadine and Kes found the strength to believe God for a miracle.
I start praying, start taking authority. God, you are the only one that can heal him. This is up to you now. It's out of the doctor's hands.
God, make it like it never happened. I want what I've read in the Bible. I said, I want a miracle. I want something supernatural for Hayden.
The only option now was to put Hayden on an advanced life support machine known as ECMO that did the work for Hayden's heart and lungs. Meanwhile, Kes and Nadine's prayers became more fervent, and they weren't alone.
People in London were praying for him. People in Africa was praying for him. My family in Florida was praying for him.
We're not focused on what's happening. We were focused on what God can do.
Then, 2 days later, the impossible. Hayden's lungs, liver, kidneys, and heart started working on their own.
The doctor said, I don't understand this. He said, we took him to get an MRI of his heart, and his heart was perfect. I said, that's Jesus. That's a miracle.
Hayden was soon brought out of his coma and taken off all life support.
It was more than words could express.
I ran in the room and I just hugged him. I was like, Hayden, God is good. You are a miracle.
It was really a surreal experience for me because the way I thought about it is I just as easily could have been another statistic of someone who had died, but instead God gave me this chance to be, a testimony instead.
Hayden made a full recovery in a matter of weeks with no residual effects. Doctors would later conclude that Hayden had likely suffered a cardiac injury brought on by severe inflammation from his previous bout with COVID.
It truly can be considered a miracle because here was a person who came with such an acute and severe illness, which the numbers and all the medical tests and diagnostics would indicate was at a very high chance of dying. And with time and with prayer and with healing, he recovered.
The Smith family has written a book about their journey that shares that Hayden's recovery isn't just a miracle. It's evidence of a God who still cares and still works wonders.
That whole situation had given me a new perspective on both the sovereignty of God and the goodness of God. He'd seen this coming, but he still allowed me to go through it, and he still worked it out for the good.
I honestly believe that my son was saved through prayers. I just thank him for hearing and answering our prayers for our son.
I'm in awe of what God has done. I'm in awe to see this miracle, walking, breathing, running, talking. God still does miracles. God still heals, and prayer still works.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. God is a miracle worker, and he's still in the business of working miracles and healing our bodies. I mean, most of the times I tell people that you shouldn't look at the challenge. Don't look at the situation, because if you focus so much on the impossibility that the situation is throwing in your face, it's difficult for you to see the God who is able to get you out of it. So focus more on God rather than on the problem.
And prayer can also be a distracting faculty. Use that to remove your thoughts from the worry. You pray and remove your mind. Because while you're praying the word of God.
And
that
building your
removes you.
faith.
You're building your faith up. And that is exactly what happened for them and their son. And see him now whole and hearty.
Amazing. This can only be God. He truly is a miracle worker, and he keeps his word. Just like Matthew 8 verse 17 says, this was to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah. He took up our infirmities and bore all our diseases.
Yes, he bore our diseases. God is a great physician. He heals all manner of sicknesses and diseases. Now, if you always feel the gift God has given you is common or ordinary, or sometimes doesn't make sense to you, here's Ekpenyo to tell you how valuable your gifts are.
Every one of us has been so intrinsically gifted and wired by God when he made you and released you on the earth. It doesn't matter how you were born. What makes you valuable is the gifts that God gave you. You see, what you consider as normal to you is magic to other people. Don't treat as normal what makes you distinct, because that same simple thing is a gift that will make room for you before kings. The Bible says that the gift of a man will make room for him. And I've seen lots of times in the lives of people, both in contemporary days and in history, how that things we call ordinary made room for them. You have yours as well. Do you know that your smile can be a gift? And that smile can make room for other people. Your ability to make people laugh, your ability to cook a meal that will leave people thinking about that meal. Do you know it's a gift? Your ability to coordinate things, to make things look beautiful. Do you know it's a gift? There is something that makes you unique. Value it. It may be common to you, but don't treat it as common. It's common because you have it. It's common because you use it every day. It's common because you see it. However, to other people, if you deploy it, it makes you outstanding. So friend, please deploy your gift. That's how God made you. And I tell you, the world will beat its path to your doorstep, and you'll be happier for it. See you another time.
Operation Blessing, an arm of the Christian Broadcasting Network, which includes disaster relief, brigades, hand pump wells, vocational training, agriculture, life-changing surgeries, and community health volunteer programs, impacts and transforms lives across the continent. So why don't you consider becoming a partner today? Kindly donate using the following information displayed below. One of the most empowering ways you can get involved is by becoming a once-off or partner monthly. This means donating towards our Operation Blessing ministry financially.
And if you would like us to pray with you about anything, call us on this number at any time. Our prayer representatives are waiting to hear from you. Don't forget to watch this and more episodes of 700 Club Nigeria and all other programs produced by the Christian Broadcasting Network Africa on our website at www.flametv.tv, our YouTube handle at FlameTV On, or any free-to-air decoder Intelsat 20.